Hello, welcome to an investigative episode where we try to figure out what this algae is. So, around a few months ago, I noticed this fuzzy little algae starting to pop up all over the driftwood in my aquarium. And at first, I thought it was Marimo moss, like the moss balls, because the shape was kind of similar. But I did more research and found out that it can't be that. So, today I'm going to take some of this from the log, put it under a microscope, and see what it looks like. Hopefully, we'll learn something new about this algae. So, I kind of skipped the part where I used tweezers to pluck it out, but I kind of did, and that little black spot at the end is a bit of the driftwood that still came out with it. And here I was trying to figure out the best way to effectively view this piece of moss or this specimen. And so there's the little end that was attached to the driftwood. You can still kind of see the wood striations on it. And as I was starting to figure out, it was kind of hard to focus using this handheld microscope. But I was starting to notice some weird things. There's something brown that kind of looked like anthers in a sense, if it was to be compared to a land plant. So that really caught my eye, and I tried to focus on it, but this microscope was not cutting it. Okay, so I tried a different angle, and I saw more of the little brown protrusions, but it still wasn't focusing all that well. You can just watch me struggle with this for a bit. Right here, I was starting to see that the algae really did resemble a little slice of a grassland or a meadow, the way the algae just pokes out like grass. It's really cute, and I tried to focus on it, but it was not focusing that well. So instead, I did what a smart scientist should and put a cover slip on the algae. So what this does is that it makes the surface a lot smoother, so every part of the specimen is at the same height, and when I put the microscope over it, none of the water is going to touch the lens and cause it to get foggy. And so right away I could tell that the viewing quality was so much better. Like, you can see the individual filaments without having to zoom in or out to get a different depth of the specimen, if that makes sense. So I found one of the strands that had a lot of the brown growth on it, and I still thought it looked a lot like a reproductive structure, because when you think about cattails or grasses, you kind of see that central stalk and then the flowers branching off of it, and I'll attach an image right now. So this was my initial hypothesis, but I went a little further down the rabbit hole and soon found out that these might actually be diatoms. So diatoms are little single-celled organisms that are responsible for, I think it's over 20% of the oxygen produced on Earth, and they can be found in saltwater and freshwater, and when they die, their bodies, which are made of silicon, turn into, well, sand. As for the algae, I'm starting to suspect it's a kind of beard algae, or more specifically, the black beard algae. This was because of the overall shape of its growth. Beard algae tend to grow in clumps, and they do appear pretty often on decoration would. And so I went online, I went through a few fish forums, and as you can see the pictures, the physical structure of the growth really does match the blackbeard algae really closely. And so I think we have a conclusion. And now my next step is going to be figuring out how to get rid of it. See you soon. Bye.